The State of the Union address is generally meant to highlight the success and also outline the priorities of the current president to the American people.
But matters at home and abroad partially prevented President Joe Biden from doing that in his first State of the Union address. His message for Americans and the world in our top story tonight at 10.
I know news about what's happening can seem alarming to all Americans, but I want you to know we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. When the history of this era is written, Putin's war in Ukraine will have left Russia weaker and the rest of the world stronger.
A major focus of tonight's address was, of course, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. President Biden announced that the U.S. will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights. Additionally, 30 countries, including the U.S., will be opening fuel reserves in order to offset rising gas prices caused by the invasion.
The president also addressed a growing problem for Americans: inflation.
One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make Americans poorer. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation. Lower your costs, not your wages. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America.
Meanwhile, Iowa's Governor Kim Reynolds was also in the spotlight this evening. Republicans picking Reynolds to provide the GOP rebuttal to the president's speech, which is focused on the response to the COVID-19 pandemic and our economy.
While Democrats in D.C. are spending trillions, sending inflation soaring, Republican leaders around the country are balancing budgets and cutting taxes because we know that money spent on Main Street is better than money spent on bureaucracy. Today, I signed legislation that eliminates Iowa's tax on retirement income and sets our tax rate at 3.9%.
And Governor Reynolds is the second Iowan to give a State of the Union rebuttal. She joined Senator Joni Ernst in having that role.
Newly elected in 2015, Ernst delivered her remarks following the State of the Union from President Barack Obama. Her story of wearing bread bags over her only pair of dress shoes as a child was widely spread on social media. Threats abroad also took center stage in Ernst's remarks, threats posed by Al-Qaeda and ISIS. With a closer look at the importance of tonight's State of the Union address, we welcome KCAU-9 Washington correspondent Jesse Turner. Jesse, since August, the president's approval ratings have continued to drop. So in terms of changing that slide, how important was tonight's address?
Tonight's address was vital for President Biden trying to change that. This is the ultimate bully pulpit for him, where he can talk to millions of the Americans who tune in to this address to say, these are the problems that I know that you're going through, and these are the plans that I have. Tonight was really meant to be a reboot of his administration, of his policies here, more than a year down the road now. But with COVID and with Ukrainian and Russian situation, there's so many things on the radar. Is that really able to even happen, or was tonight just a pause? Moving forward, there's definitely, an appetite for this, even though some of those who are on, both of the ends of the spectrum continue to be the loudest voices. There are a lot of the middle that want to get things done along with what the president has been saying, but still it's kind of a wait and see. Jesse Turner in Washington, thank you for joining us tonight.